Okay, YouTube land, what's good? This is your host from the Gulf Coast doing the most.
Doing the most.
Donte.
And Shellie.
We are the yin and yang of Short-Term Rentals podcast. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. Animal noises.
Darn fools.
And cut.
Well, look who made it back. Yo, thank you for supporting the channel. We got a bunch of episodes filled with info on how we host, funny guest story with your boy Tay, current news with Shellie, and special guest appearances. Also feature some local music artists for the outro, so make sure you stick around to the end, my friend, and peep all the links in the description. Dropping gems. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
So good morning, everybody. Today we have a special guest here. She's someone that I have known for years and clearly was designed to be in my circle because apparently we were in close orbits for a while. But her name is Cinnamon Tyler. She is a mortgage broker. She started her mortgage career back in 1998 in Atlanta, Georgia, where she was working for family-friendly SunTrust Bank.
Shout out SunTrust.
Shout out to old school SunTrust, which is now Truist Bank.
Oh, they ain't SunTrust?
No. SunTrust got bought out about 500 times, but now they are Truist.
All right.
And that's what they are today.
Gotcha.
In 2002, she actually relocated from Atlanta to Florida, specifically Navarre, where she opened Abaca Mortgage. And she has been helping families make the dream of home ownership a reality in the Panhandle ever since. I have personally worked with her, and she is absolutely amazing. She is incredibly resourceful.
Thank you.
She is extremely bright, brilliant, creative.
She's blushing over here, guys.
Listen, I am not in the business of flattering. If she's
Basically, like, I don't really do this for anybody.
That's right.
You got to earn these compliments.
Really? Seriously, first of all, if she sucked, she wouldn't have been here. That's one.
Fair.
Okay.
And then if somebody just made me bring her on, I'd be like, okay, and this is Cinnamon.
Oh,
So no, but she's absolutely great at her job, and she's a great spirit. So I'm so excited to have her on today. And I've learned some things about her that I didn't know as well. So
Before we start, though, because I got to get this out of the way.
okay.
And hopefully you're not offended by this.
not at all.
But when she told me your name was Cinnamon,
Right?
Here we go.
I'm not going to lie. I literally,
Yep.
the last time I heard that name was from a exotic dancer.
Yes. Everybody's first question is that your stage name? Literally, everyone, yes, literally everyone asks me that. And no, I've never been on a stage.
Okay.
My mom just wanted something different, and
I like the ring of it, though. It's super memorable. So that is your
that is
government
my, yes.
name.
That is my legal name, yes. Not my stage
And is it
name.
spelled just like,
Yeah, like the spice. Yeah.
how was that growing up?
Horrible. Horrible. Yeah, as a little kid with a weird name like that at school,
I
it
can
was.
only imagine.
Yeah, they did all kinds of fun stuff. But it's cool now, but at the time, not so cool.
Thickens your skin, though. Toughens you
That's
up.
right. That's right.
All right. I just had to get out the way. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Good question, though. Good question.
Shellie, the people want to know. It needed
That's
to
right.
be addressed.
It did.
That's the yin and yang.
Yes, that is right. I'm seeing it. Yes.
That's all I can say.
All right. Continue.
Continue. Okay. So for the real reason you're here.
Yes.
So when I reached out to you and was letting you know about the podcast, you let me know that you have some exciting products
Yes.
for people who are interested in investment property and financing it. But I want them to know why you're such a great resource for that. Now, you told me that you actually did short-term rentals yourself.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, I had some unique and horrible experiences.
Really? Do tell.
Some of them were great, but
Can you give us an example of one horrible one?
yes, I can.
Just jump right on out.
Yeah.
So I rented condos, like beach condos. So spring break, you can imagine, would be difficult. One of them was in Panama City.
Oh.
And I got a call from the association manager one morning, early in the morning, that my front door was wide open and there were people passed out all over in the floor down the hall. So they're walking down the hall and they're looking in and seeing, just bodies laying there. And I said,
Some of them might have been my friends.
yeah, I know, right? I'm like, could you go in and check on what's happening? And she said, yeah. So, and I was shocked the door was open. Turns out that, long story short, they had lost their key, so they just kicked the door in, and it tore the whole jamb out of the door. So you couldn't shut the door, so it had to be open. But at this point, everyone's passed out, so she's trying to wake people up, and turns out nobody in the condo was even old enough to be drinking. The person that had rented the condo from me never showed up. They had sent their
Rented it
for the kids, and the police get called by the association manager because they're just trying to get bodies out of the condo so they can try to shut the door and bolt it down until I can get somebody out to fix it. So
Somebody was like, we'll do it in the morning. That's that energy.
it was fun stuff like that.
Wow.
When we finally made it into the bedroom, they had thrown up all over the comforter in the bed, throw up everywhere. They had busted a hole in the bathroom door. I mean, it was just a real good party that we all missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Oh, wow.
And it really messed up the people that were checking in the next week because I had to get a condo repaired and cancel reservations I had coming. And so,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay.
So
That's one of them.
Was that like the catalyst that made you say enough is enough?
No, I did this for years. I kept taking the abuse. I said, because there's always good tenants too, but a few years of everything being okay, and then I had a condo out here on Navarre Beach, and it was Blue Angel weekend. So everyone's out at the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
Well, everyone had come back and they were taking showers, and I was on the second floor. Something got stopped up, and while my tenants were gone, water started building up and flooded the first floor, flooded all the second floor units.
And you were there.
Well, no, nobody was there. The tenants weren't there. So when they get back from Blue Angels, they call me and they're like, the unit's flooded. And I was like, what? So I'm like, okay, I'll call, somebody out to see what's going on. Well, I had called a local company in Florida that does, water removal. Mm-hmm. And they said, this is class 3 or some type of water because it was like from toilets, showers, sewage type. Class C, maybe they called it. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, that means we can't deal with this. You're going to have to call somebody out that can deal with this kind of cleanup. So I had to have the carpets ripped out, the furniture replaced.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate to see it happen.
Yes, it was. And again, this was in July. So I lost 2 months or more of rentals after that. I had to cancel everybody. I had to rebuild this unit Now, that wasn't the tenant's fault, of course. That just happened.
That just life happened.
That was just life. But it's like, here you are thinking, and as you may know, that's your time you make money on a rental is the summer.
Yes.
And when you have to cancel your tenants for the busiest time of the year to make repairs, it's devastating.
It is. Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Just a couple things like that happened to me. Then I finally said, you know what? I need a mental break from this. So I sold my condos, and I'm just taking a little break right now from renting.
All right.
I may get brave and do it again.
Wow. That's and that is that can happen even with long-term rentals.
Sure.
You know that. So
Sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things. That is one of the things that come with it at times. And that's why it's so important to stay on that preventative maintenance if you can. Making sure you're getting the AC checked out, making sure you're getting the plumbing checked, making sure you're getting those things checked before there's an issue. Before we started, I remember having a inspector come and check everything out, even though it's my house.
Right.
And it's been my house, and I know it's my house because I had to get repairs and stuff going too. So I was just like, just check everything, just make sure everything's done. And so, yeah, that comes with it. That comes with the territory. So you have been doing mortgage brokering forever. Now tell everyone, what is the difference? I know you and I know, but what is the difference of me just going to a bank to get a mortgage or coming to a mortgage broker like you?
Right. So as a mortgage broker, I have relationships with a lot of different lenders and banks. And they're a little bit of a difference because, you think of a bank, they have where you come in and make a deposit and you're, withdrawing money. Then there's just lenders that are just out there lending money, or there may be groups of people that have pulled money together to lend. So there's a lot of options that I have that a bank wouldn't have. So that's the first main difference. But because of that, we have a lot of different options for people who are looking to buy an investment property.
Right.
So there's so many different ways to do that and so many options. I mean, we could talk about that for hours. I don't know how detailed we want to go into that, but I always encourage people to call me and let's talk about options because each person's situation is so different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So on that, no differences between you and a bank. Is there like regulated different? Like, do you guys have less hoops or more freedom, like more flexibility when you build the relationships?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, a lot of these loans would be going through, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, or they're going to be regulated the same way. But because individual lenders can put overlays on that, one bank may say, I won't allow that, and another bank will allow it. So it comes more down to the overlays that bank. And since I have multiple banks I work with, maybe what you need is an overlay that this bank will allow that this one won't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is it? FINRA that regulates the banking financial industry? Is it FINRA? One of them. We have to. I'm in cybersecurity, so like we have relationships with a lot of these regulatory bodies, like for compliance reasons.
Yes.
We are aware of like what they require for data protection.
Okay. Yes. So CFPB is really who we fall all under.
Interesting.
But there are several
Okay.
that regulate this industry.
All right. So I want to get down and dirty into, if I'm looking, I know Donte's always looking for additional investment properties too.
Yes.
But if I'm looking into options to purchase another investment property, and really if it's something good, I might really be interested.
Right.
What options do you guys have right now? Because I'm hearing like the rates are dropping, so
Yes.
all of that's pretty exciting.
It is. So the rates are coming down a little. I would say the most difficult part about purchasing an investment property is the down payment.
Yeah.
So banks want a big down payment because it's a riskier, obviously it's a riskier loan. In normal times, people are going to pay their primary residence long before they ever pay for investment properties.
Right.
And the bank knows that. So
That's right.
Normally 15% is your bare minimum usually.
I've heard like 20, 25.
Yes, most want 20 to 25 and sometimes even more depending on what type of loan. But 15 is your bare minimum. And there's a lot of ways to consider getting that money. A lot of people are looking at pulling out the cash out of their primary residence so
Right.
they can have that down payment money to buy an investment property.
Taking out that equity.
Yes.
And then, and this is some of the things that I'm just starting to look for. So, I mean, I've heard of people like pulling out of their 401ks.
Yes.
Finding hard money, private lenders and stuff like that.
Yes, correct.
So there is a lot of options, and it really is like real deal specific on which one you should choose from what I've been learning.
Yes. The one thing that you can't do with investment property that a lot of people are familiar with from primaries and second homes is get a gift from a family member.
Yeah.
You can't have the down payment gifted on an investment property. So that confuses a lot of people because we were all so used to hearing that term that, because I'm buying a primary and my mom's going to give me the down payment, and that's normally allowed, but not on an investment property.
Right.
Why is that?
Great question. Why are some of these bank rules in place? A lot of them don't make any sense, and that one doesn't make any sense to me either. What does it really matter?
Yeah. You guys getting your money. We're getting our investment property.
Exactly.
I just wonder if there are
letter to the
questions of, is this really a gift, or, are you kind of, I can see some, I
That's
can
a
see
fair
some,
point.
questions of, yeah, you know,
You saying they don't trust
where did
us?
they get that money
Are
from?
you saying they don't trust us?
Right? Like if your business is sketchy,
Hey, man.
you just giving folks money to be
Upstanding
buying houses. Is that
citizen.
what you're really doing, or what are you? So yeah, I can understand that when you're getting into investment
I'm
properties,
offended.
it's all business. So
I'm offended.
what? You know, I get it. I get it.
All right.
Why is there
Yes.
a gift? Yeah. So I kind of get it. I kind of get it.
All right.
I'm not saying I agree with it.
I guess I
It's
see
not
a
my
point.
rule, but I can, again, from working in banking, you got the Patriot Act and all those things. I can kind of understand why they want to. Yeah, you got some Russians just giving you money.
That's right. They
They're
don't
just giving you money, Donte. They're just giving you money.
Yeah.
Oh, my Russian amigos.
And no
And amiga.
offense to, but I'm just saying, like,
That's right.
Hamas just giving you money.
Bless a brother.
Seems reasonable, right? But no,
reasonable.
not according to the Fed regulations.
That doesn't seem sketchy at all. So, yes, I get that. Please govern yourselves for their church announcements.
Wow.
We'd like for you to hit the like button. It helps us with the algorithm, especially for a new channel like us. And Donte's experienced a lot of rejection, so he needs some likes in his life.
Somebody like me, please.
Also, please subscribe. Hit the notification button so you'll know when something new drops. Our giveaways are specific to our subscribers, so please subscribe so you can participate.
And ask us some questions. Leave us some comments.
Don't forget to share, because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So tell us about some of the newer products that are out there.
Sure. So one of the great things is if you have any kind of history renting like you all do, then you can count the potential rental income to offset the debt for the next one that you're purchasing.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. In most cases, they want to see you have a history of doing this,
Right,
which
right.
would need to be on your tax returns.
Right.
That's how they determine a history. But that is a great way for people to add. If they can come up with a down payment and the potential rent will offset the cost, then then it's fairly easy to qualify. Again, the hardest part's coming up with the down payment.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, for people like me who might not have the down payment, I find finding a partner could be a really good way to make that happen.
It is.
And, Shellie has partnered with my mother before on investment properties, and I thought that was a great way for someone like her, because my mom is able to do anything, but it's like there's someone watching your back, maybe there's a strength. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that I feel like people today don't really capitalize on that, on working with somebody. It's kind of like they're uncomfortable. And I've done things by myself for my whole life, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it took a lot of work, and I still messed up. And then as soon as I got some partners, things just go a lot more smoother.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
finding someone who can balance out what you're trying to do. Maybe they have the money, but they're not really the one who likes to talk and meet people and, write things up. It's very smart, I think, and wise for people to start to look into that as an option, especially in times right now where your money might be tight. So
Absolutely. I'm working with some customers right now, and one of them, there's two that are buying the investment property together. One of them has the income to qualify, and the other one has the down payment. So they're coming together, and one of them's going to put the money down, one of them's going to qualify for the loan. So they're coming in together to do that. So yeah, absolutely. And you can have multiple partners.
I was just about to say that. And I know that the partnership that I had with your mom, like, I would not have partnered with my mom on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm saying
exactly.
you just really have to truly know that that is who you're supposed to be working. I mean, we had that property for, 15 years?
It really flew by to me. And when
Yeah.
I hear 15 years,
Yeah.
Well, I go by how old my son was. That's my gauge, right? So we had that property for like 15 years, and you guys wouldn't believe this. Not one raised voice, not one argument, not want, and there were things we didn't agree on.
Right.
To be clear, we did. I think I told you about. I wanted to get a property manager. She's like, I don't want to pay them 10%. I was like, but I'm doing all the work.
Exactly.
I'm the one doing all the work. I'm collecting the rent. I'm doing this. I'm getting repairs. Of course, you don't see the value. I'm doing that part.
That's right.
And she did
Shout out, moms.
She absolutely did not want to do it. And so after a couple of years, I said, I tell you what, I'm going to pay him out of my side. Don't you even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. And so she's like, you sure? Yes, I am positive. And that's what I did. Well, guess what? Like 2-3 years later, she's getting railroaded with these taxes. And I'm like, oh, well, I wrote off my property management. I actually got a refund. And so then she's like, okay, let's start splitting that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that was,
funny.
Kind of how we did that. There was no, it was just like, okay, we can't agree. I'm going to just take this one on the chin. That's less work for me. And then, then we split it. And it was like, okay. And we did that all the way to the end. So we had there were times where, there were things going on for her financially and it was tighter for her. And so if we had to repair something, I was like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. And then when we were PCSing and I was moving and in between jobs, I was like, oh crap, that has to be fixed. All right, that's going to be tight for me. And she was good. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll do it, And that was just how we worked. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't work that well together.
For sure.
And so I think that's why people are sometimes squeamish about partnerships. So I think you've got to really be partnered with the right person.
Definitely.
You guys have to have kind of that same vision and that same mindset and way of working, and you'll be good. And if things change, because I would have still had that property. I would have still had that property. She wanted to sell it. And she didn't tell me in fact, she didn't tell me. She wanted to sell it, I think, for almost a year. She mentioned that. And then I was just telling her we were having a situation with the tenant that wasn't great. And I was like, listen, this is what I'm thinking. We don't renew. We're going to tell them we're not renewing with him. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And she's like, I really wish we could sell. That was when I first heard. I was like, you want to sell it? And she's like, yeah, but you don't want to sell it. I was like, I'm not going to hold you hostage. You want to sell it? We're selling. Right. We're selling. And immediately we sold it, and, a realtor jumped on it. It was sold, boom, bosh, bam. And when we closed on it, I remember feeling like this weight that was lifted that I didn't even know I was carrying.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm glad you said that.
That's awesome.
Glad. So who knew? But I was glad and reinvested the money into my Airbnb and blah, blah, and we're just still rolling. So I do think that partnership can be beneficial, not just for that initial investment piece, because I remember she and I both put down half and half, but I also think that partnership can be great for the entire duration if you got the right partner.
Right. And on top of that, what I always was curious about is qualifying with, like, getting a partner. Is there more requirements? Is there more vetting that a company like yours would do?
No, there's not. The thing about investment property is pretty much 45% is your debt ratio max on where, VA and all, we can go to 55. And so, but when it's an investment property, it pretty much cuts at 45. Some even cut it at 41, 42. So that's probably the hard, making sure that all of your debts and all of your partner's debts all come together and fall under that number.
Okay.
But other than that, it's pretty much the same. The one other bigger exception, I would say, or difference is you've got to have some reserves. So when you're buying a primary residence, you could use all the money you had in your account to closing, and that'd be cool. Nobody cares. But on investment property, they want to see you can pay at least the next 6 months of all of your mortgages that you currently have. And that could be a 401k or any kind of retirement account. But they just want to see you've got some reserve somewhere.
Right. Just in case.
Just in case, because I mean, the reality is you may not have a renter all the time.
Yeah.
You may go a couple months waiting for that next long-term tenant or the next short-term rental. So,
And that's a good plug for making sure that you're focused on tomorrow. We're so, I know with us, we're talking about these investments that are producing income for now, but I'm a big proponent on 401ks, IRAs, if your company does some sort of match, I don't care if they're matching 2%, get the match. Whatever you got to do to get the match, that's free money. And again, you use those assets. I used that asset myself, and I didn't have to pull anything out. I was like, oh, yep, you need to know. Oh, here's my statement from, and I remember sitting there, I was like, okay, that's good. That's what we needed. There's more than enough in there. Right. And you don't have to use that money in the way of tapping into it and say, oh, I have to pull this out for an investment. Just showing that I've got some assets. If something crazy happens, I could liquidate it.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no plans to do it. But if I absolutely have to, hey, I got this money over here. And so that's always important. So I'm glad you brought that up.
that's a great point, because a lot of people are confused when I ask for that. They're like, you need my retirement account for what? Like, I don't need it. I just need to see you have it. I don't want
I'm trying to see how much money you got.
That's right. Give me all your money. Oh, no, that's a great point. Yeah. It's just something to show the bank that you have got something to fall back on if you need it.
How long does this qualifying process take?
Not long. If you have got your paperwork in order, a couple of weeks. We usually closing them in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, it just depends on how quickly you can pull your paperwork together.
Okay, I have to tell this story. It had nothing to do with investment property, but the house we're in now, we started like 2 years before the pandemic, deciding, looking for it, blah, blah, blah. And, they started the build process and all this stuff, and they wanted us to go with their preferred lender and all that stuff, because Cinnamon's always my go-to. And so we were going through this process, and, the numbers were crazy. I was like, I'm not paying that much, but we went through this whole process. And then as we were getting closer to the end, I was like, you know what, I really want to go back to Abaca Mortgage and work with Cinnamon and her team. And so I gave them all the information, and they gave us a better deal. Hands down, better deal. Okay. So I was like, okay, that's where I'm going. Thank you. But that's where I'm going. And so I'm working with them, and I will never forget, the pandemic had just started. I'm driving home from work, and she called me, and I'm on the bridge, Pensacola, heading back this way. And she's like, Michelle, the mortgages are going crazy. These interest rates are dropped. And so if you get me updated LES, updated, bank statements, stuff, blah, 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 I can get you locked in. We're going to put all that stuff in tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I am on my way. I'm barreling down, clocking that little old lady around and da-da-da. And got
Red alert.
Grabbed everything, sent it in. And, we are locked into like 2 something. I don't know, whatever, it is. And then after we closed on that, then I called her back, and it was like, okay, now that house is out the way, let's refi, this house. And so we refinanced both. The townhouse, the other, we refinanced everything. We worked with Cinnamon for every last one of them.
That's awesome.
And all of those things and so that's why we can just, do what we're able to do. And she is, she's that great that she will say, okay, now, once we close on this one,
That's right.
then let's get everything going for your other one. She thinks on that level for you. She doesn't even just say, oh, that sale's done and I'm moving on to my other clients.
No, that's
She
awesome.
even thought about saying, okay.
She was looking out for you.
Yes. And so it's that relationship that makes her more than just a mortgage broker. She actually does care and she thinks about it. And she's so smart and she just puts it all together. So she's really fantastic person to work with. Always has
Super
been.
sweet. I love that.
I mean,
so
I speak
sweet.
truth. I'm telling you,
No.
I'm not the flatter police.
Kudos to you, Cinnamon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Super sweet. And that's another great point. Most of my clients I work with for about 6 months before we ever get to the closing table because we have some planning we need to do. Let's look at your overall situation and where are we at? And do we need to save a little or where are we at? And we work together to get
Do
you
we
where
need
you
to
want
pay
to be.
some things down?
That's
that might be
right.
better.
Exactly. There's a lot that goes into it and a lot to think about.
So I'm excited. So I know we're gonna wrap this up, but I'm really excited. I am gonna keep that in mind. What you talked about. I'm not necessarily actively looking, but if I stumble on something,
Right.
so that's great. And so we appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you got some stuff going on. She's big into community service, and so she's got,
Big fundraiser.
she's got a big fundraiser. Tell us about the fundraiser you're getting
Are
ready.
you familiar with the Navarre Beach Sea Turtle Conservation Center out on Navarre
Yes.
Beach?
Yes, my
Okay.
son's all over that.
Are you
Yes,
serious?
Yes.
Sweet Pea is our ambassador.
Sweet
Yes,
Pea, my
without her
daughter
flip-
loves Sweet Pea.
Yes. So tonight is our big annual soiree. It's the biggest fundraiser we do every year, and I am the chair of that event this year. So we have a lot of decorating and getting ready that's going to start here in a little bit. So luckily my helpers are letting me walk out for a minute to do this. I was like, this is important, and I want to do this, and I'll see you guys about 11.
you
So,
sacrificed.
yes, I was like, I love y'all.
You're so touched. Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, I definitely. I'm actually going to contribute to that because my kids will probably fight me if I don't.
I love that.
Anyway, especially my daughter loves Sweet Pea. So yes, I'm excited, and so that is awesome. And tell them how we're going to put it on your link on our stuff. I have that.
Sure.
But tell people how they can get in contact with you.
The best way is to call or text me, 850-939-4050. Call or text me anytime. And I really will be glad to help. I think it's better to call me long before you're ready to buy because it's when you find the house you want, you may not realize if you have your things in order, I guess.
Ducks in a row.
Your ducks in a row, thank you. So let's do that first. And then when you do stumble upon that perfect property, you'll be ready.
You're ready.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Speed is everything. in this.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are hesitant to do that because they're afraid they're wasting your time or they're not there yet. You're not. You're going to be my friend for life. we're going to work together however long it takes us. And it doesn't cost you a thing to call me and get some advice. So please do it.
And even on the weekends, right?
That's right. Yeah. Weekends
That's
or
so
nights
cool.
are fun.
I was surprised people were like, you can text me. It's like, y'all text? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you
we
hit me
do.
up on the weekend? Really?
Just because we're old, we had to figure out how to communicate with you younger
No,
people.
man, I love it because I'm so busy during the week. It's hard to like do all these things at the same time when everyone has the same business hours.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, can people be open and do stuff on the weekend, please? Because that's when my time is available to do all this stuff.
That's
so
right.
I'm really glad that there are resources like you that are open to doing that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again. We
Thanks, y'all.
appreciate you.
Thank you. I had a great time. Love
it
seeing
was
you.
fun, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Okay, until next time, you guys.
Till next time.
My dearest woman, this old house is damned to hell. Let it go too long without a care. Let's put some work into it, won't take long, it's overdue. Make this old house like new again. Paint started peeling off the walls 3 days